legendary heavyweight boxer Muhammad Ali fought battles both inside and outside the ring. Ali's fame skyrocketed during a time when African Americans lacked basic civil rights, and he is celebrated as much for his courage challenging racial injustice as he is for his remarkable athletic skills. Ali was a dazzling showman called the People's Champion and the Greatest. Ali's style of fighting was lightning fast, and he often used wit and rhymes to taunt his opponents before and during a fight. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. His hands can't hit what his eyes can't see. Ali was born in 1942 with the name Cassius Clay during segregation in Louisville, Kentucky. He was troubled by the racially motivated violence he saw on the news and around him. In his youth, boxing became an outlet for his feelings of frustration. At 18, the young boxer competed in the Olympics, winning a gold medal and instant celebrity status. He became the heavyweight champion of the world at age 22, but also became a controversial world figure. Influenced deeply by the ideas of radical Muslim minister and civil rights activist Malcolm X, the young boxer joined the Nation of Islam and changed his name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali. The rising Black Pride movement appealed to Ali. Rather than simply enjoying his fame, he used it to bring attention to the systemic injustice many blacks faced. When he was drafted to fight in the Vietnam War in 1967, Ali refused to fight in a war that he felt served only white interests. As a result, he was stripped of his boxing title and banned from the boxing ring for 3 years. In 1971, the Supreme Court overturned his conviction, and Ali returned to the boxing ring. Soon, he met some of his most famous opponents. Ali's first professional loss was against Joe Frazier, whom he had publicly taunted and insulted. But Ali won the heavyweight title back against George Foreman. He lost to Leon Spinks in 1978, but defeated him in a rematch, making Ali the first boxer ever to win 3 heavyweight championships. He was the people's hero, always coming back under what seemed impossible odds. In 1984, 3 years after retiring from boxing, Ali announced he had Parkinson's disease, a degenerative neurological condition. Ali turned his attention to philanthropy and making life better for others. He supported Parkinson's research and became active in the Special Olympics and the Make-A-Wish Foundation. In 1990, Ali helped negotiate the release of 15 American hostages from Iraq. In 1998, he became a United Nations Messenger of Peace for his work overseas and was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2005. Muhammad Ali died in his home in 2016. His own words sum up the man and his success. He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life.